Donald Trump sees his poll numbers crashing. His Trump media stock is crashing. Donald Trump looks in the mirror and sees himself in absolute cognitive decline. Donald Trump's cases are resuming and they are being set for other hearings. His sentencing is scheduled for September 18th. So what does Donald Trump do? He's like, all right, I got to call Elon Musk. So Donald Trump sends out an email to his supporters. I'm on the list, so you don't have to. And he goes, I love Elon Musk because Elon Musk endorsed me. But I love you even more, Ben. Or he says whatever the name of a supporter is. And again, I'm on this listserv just so I can report back to you the things that he's saying. Then he's like, do you want to win a competition? I'm giving you a golden medal. Click the golden medal. It's like a weird Trump gold colored hat. And he's like, this is my gift to you. Then you click it and you have to like donate $1,000 to him. So he sends that weird email. And then he does this interview with Elon Musk and he starts slurring his words. And he's really struggling to even talk right now. And so let me just show you what he was saying to Elon Musk. So I'm not going to show you a lot of these clips. I did a whole hot take on it last night. But Donald Trump says that he saw this, the Time magazine cover with Vice President Kamala Harris on it. And he said, that doesn't really look like her. He says, it looks like Melania, he says. What are you even talking about? Here, play this clip.
She's terrible. But she's getting a free ride. I saw a picture of her on Time magazine today. She looks like the most beautiful actress ever to live. It was a drawing. And actually, she looked very much like our great First Lady, Melania. She didn't look like Camilla. That's right. But of course, she's a beautiful woman. So we'll leave it at that, right?
And here's more of Donald Trump slurring his words from that interview. This is the last clip I'm going to play from that interview. But here he is. Here, play this clip.
But that's okay. That's the way I get treated. And I don't mind that at all. What I can tell you is this. We cannot have a Democrat. We cannot have her. She's incompetent. She's as bad as Biden in a different. Look, she hasn't done an interview since this whole scam started. And say what you want. This was a coup. This was a coup of
I started getting like thousands of text messages from people I know saying, hey, Ben, you're listening to this Elon Musk Trump interview? Does Trump always have this strange lisp? Like, what is going on? And then, by the way, a reporter reached out to Trump's campaign and said, hey, what's going on with all the slurring of his words? Is he all right? And then Donald Trump's campaign issued the following statement: must be your shitty hearing. Get your ears checked out. Okay. Yesterday, we also saw more photographs of J.D. Vance that were leaked of J.D. Vance cross-dressing. And as I've said before, you know, we all would fight for J.D. Vance's freedoms to be who J.D. Vance really is. But J.D. Vance has now changed his identity multiple times, and he attacks the LGBTQ plus community each and every day and tries to take away people's freedom. So that came out yesterday. Also yesterday, Donald Trump's stock continued to crash. It was down about 5 percentage points yesterday on the news that his company lost about $16 million last quarter on only about $800,000 or so dollars in revenue. Donald Trump also went back on Twitter or X or whatever it's calling itself these days, which is sure to not be a great sign for the future of that Trump media stock now that he's no longer honoring any exclusivity with the Trump media stock. Also worth pointing out just the data that we're getting about the how people perceive Donald Trump and Shady Vance, just how negative they view them. Look, as all of these MAGAs are out there trying to say like, oh, the people are really pissed off at Governor Walz for this. No, they're not. Like, Governor Walz has a very high favorability rating. And so does Vice President Kamala Harris. They both have positive favorability ratings. Meanwhile, Donald Trump and Shady Vance have very negative favorability. Here, watch this report on that. Play this clip.
Donald Trump and J.D. Vance here. We know, I've been talking about J.D. Vance's net negative favorability rating. That is, more people view him unfavorably than favorably. Donald Trump has the same thing. I will point out this is among the higher numbers for Trump, but still, he's underwater here at -7 points. Jump over to the Democratic side with me, if you will. Take a look here. Kamala Harris, is actually better liked by more voters than she is disliked at a +2 net favorable rating. And then Tim Walz here at a +11 rating. It's as simple as this. Politics is about being liked, and the Democratic ticket is better liked than the Republican ticket.
It's worth noting as well that Donald Trump's favorite right-wing betting site, Polymarket, now has Vice President Kamala Harris up 52% to 46%. This is what Donald Trump used to post all the time. The 538 averages and aggregates now have Vice President Kamala Harris up 2.7% in the average of the various polls, and that continues to increase. Let me share this with you as well. This right here is from Ben Wickler, who's the chair of the Wisconsin Democratic Party. Here's what he had to say. He goes, Mark and I just knocked on doors here in Middleton, Wisconsin. The voter we just met described the choice in November. You can vote for the whiner, or you can vote for happiness. Just think about that. You can vote for the whiner, or you could vote for happiness. I also, someone showed this meme right here of Shady Vance, Machine Pun Kelly. This is not funny. Stop laughing. He certainly has a type right there. I don't know why you're posting that. Was also, I want to show you the CNN thing in just a moment, but we also learned yesterday as well, and this was, a reporting was confirmed by the Miami Herald, that Donald Trump has been flying around presently in Jeffrey Epstein's private jet. The jet that Epstein used to traffic women was sold to somebody else who is now apparently letting Donald Trump use that plane. Donald Trump has wrapped the plane in a Trump 2024 paint job, but it's the same plane. Its serial number is 5173. The tail number changed, but it is actually the identical plane as Jeffrey Epstein's. It was Jeffrey Epstein's plane. So I don't know about you, but I prefer candidates who don't fly around in Jeffrey Epstein's plane. There's a lot of Gulfstream 550s, a lot of G550s out there. If that's what you want to fly, why in the world would you fly around in, well, Donald Trump was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. Of course, they were close friends. They partied together. They hung together. Trump said that Epstein was a great guy who likes women or girls on the younger side. It's a direct quote from Donald Trump. And so that's how Donald Trump is spending his time. This was something I wanted to share with you. This was on CNN. And it just goes to show you how beloved Vice President Kamala Harris has become. And it's showing voter enthusiasm for Vice President Kamala Harris. And look, just take a look at this group right here. Play the clip.
How many of you were supporting Joe Biden 14 days ago? Raise your hands. None of you. How many of you, if the election were held today, would vote for the Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris?
I would.
Okay, that's all of you.
None of you to all of you. And Frank Luntz is with us now. Frank, so thank you so much for being with us. Let me just ask you, if the election were held today, who would win?
She would win. And I want to emphasize, it's not just about momentum. And I thought your commentary just before this was dead on. It's also about passion. It's about commitment. And Harris voters are even more eager to vote for her than Donald Trump voters are to him. We've not seen that in the entire campaign. Call that intensity. And her campaign is generating the intensity. And another key component is exactly why this is happening. She's talking and emphasizing her persona, her attributes, her character traits. And that's where Donald Trump has been commenting. And the fact is, the American people do not want to hear the same kind of negativity, the same kind of attacks that he's been delivering. His strength is on issues, most particularly the two issues that matter most, inflation and immigration. But instead of speaking about those two issues and talking about the failures of the Biden administration, he's been making these personal attacks, and it's frankly turning the voters off that he needs to reach. Now, I want to...
Also yesterday, Donald Trump, when he was in his rage, decided to give notice of a potential lawsuit to the Department of Justice for $100 million over the search warrant that was executed at Mar-a-Lago. Donald Trump is saying that the search warrant violated his constitutional rights, even though it was signed by a magistrate judge, and that's how Donald Trump is whining, as the Wisconsin voters were saying to Ben Wickler, we want to go with hope and happiness versus the whiner. Not a bad idea there at all. Donald Trump was also posting like AI video of Ronald Reagan, acting like he got Reagan support. Elon Musk was posting very creepy and weird memes about Donald Trump joining X, showing like the hair on someone's arm being raised. You don't get much weirder than that. Here's what I thought was a very powerful moment as well yesterday, though. You had Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, answering this question from Fox's host, Ducey. And Ducey asked her a very, just strangely worded, improperly worded question, basically saying, why is the Harris campaign saying they need more Border Patrol agents if Biden's doing such a great job? And you'll see that, let me just show you the response by Karine Jean-Pierre. Play the clip.
And how long have you guys known that Vice President Harris does not think President Biden is doing a good job at the border?
Wait, say that one more time?
Well, she's now promising to hire thousands more border agents than there are now under President Biden.
Wait, but start your question again.
How long have you guys known that Vice President Harris does not think that President Biden is effective with his border policy?
I mean, that you're making a huge jump. Why she did not say this. This is something that you are assuming. I don't understand why you would assume that. It's not true.
She has a campaign ad where she is saying they need more Border Patrol agents. If President Biden's doing such a good job, why do they need any more border agents?
We both believe that. The president does want more Border Patrol agents. You know who's getting in the way? You know who's getting in the way? Republicans in Congress. They're getting in the way. You know who else is getting in the way? The former president, Donald Trump. He's getting in the way. I mean, there's no daylight here. I'm not understanding the question because there's no daylight. The president believes that as well, and he's worked towards doing that. There's a bipartisan, I know you guys probably get sick of me saying this, but there was a bipartisan agreement that was on the table that the president worked through for a couple of months with Republicans in the Senate and Democrats. They were told not to move forward because it would help Joe Biden by the former president. That's their decision.
And there's
I thought what she said there is very, important. Look, Donald Trump killed the bipartisan border deal. I mean, there was a border deal negotiated by a Republican, a conservative from Oklahoma, James Lankford. The bill was negotiated, completed, would have actually added more Border Patrol agents. President Biden wants more Border Patrol agents. So does Vice President Kamala Harris. But Donald Trump's blocking it. Donald Trump told MAGA Mike Johnson to kill the bill. Donald Trump said he wants to cause chaos at the border because then that's a winning issue for Trump. Here, let me just so you know, like that I'm not making this up when I say this bill would have helped and Donald Trump killed it. Let me show you Donald Trump bragging about killing the bill. Play this clip.
But you give illegal taxpayer-funded lawyers, so they have millions of dollars in this agreement, in this deal, which we, by the way, killed. I think we killed it. I think it's dead. But you can never say it because bad bills always come back to life because these guys make a lot of money with bad bills. But they give millions, tens of millions of dollars, it's down there, to lawyers to represent the illegal immigrants that come into our country. It's not even believable.
And then let me show you here James Lankford, the conservative Republican senator from Oklahoma, talking about how helpful the bill would be.
So Biden, in a rare moment, was correct in the things that he was actually laying out in that clip from the State of the Union address. It would have increased the number of border agents, would have increased the number of asylum officers. It would have radically changed the way that we did actually the process.
Here's a op-ed from the Wall Street Journal. Trump is looking like a loser again. About 1/3 of his remarks last week during a press conference were false, obtuse, or a lunatic. Even Nate Silver's polling right now has a 55% chance of Vice President Kamala Harris winning. Here is from The Atlantic. Here's what they had to say. Something else and something quite important has changed. The whole landscape of the campaign has been transformed. The rise of Kamala Harris instantly cast Trump in a new light. He formerly seemed more ominous and threatening, which, whatever its political drawbacks, signaled strength. Now he seems not just old, but low energy, stale, even pathetic. He has become the political version of Fat Elvis, which is a Interesting one too, because Donald Trump used to post all of these videos or these photos of himself next to Elvis and claim that he looks like Elvis, which of course he does not, and just a very strange thing for him to say. But what else is new? Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign posting this video right here about the momentum that's building. Play this clip.
But they're only 3 weeks into this campaign. It's been an extraordinary 3 weeks. She's been sharpening her message, drawing massive crowds at these rallies, and really focused on this broad, forward-looking message about the fight for the future. But Diane, the question moving forward is she's going to have to eventually get into some of these nittier, grittier policy details, which could divide this currently unified base as they debate over the policy proposals. But for now, clearly, this momentum is behind her. And these massive crowds she's getting are clearly getting under Donald Trump's skin. He's been pushing this false conspiracy theory that she is using artificial intelligence to create fake images of the crowd. That, of course, is false. I've been at these rallies. They are drawing thousands of people, and it is a kind of new momentum that the Democratic Party has not seen in years. And so you've seen Trump really struggle to pivot his campaign to try and go after her and focus on the core issues like the economy and immigration. Instead, he's been going after her identity and issues like these crowd sizes, which many Republicans do not want him to do. Even voters I've spoken to are supporters of his, say that Trump should be focused on the issues like the economy and immigration.
Here's what Bernie Sanders had to say. Play this clip.
Don't get me going onto healthcare, because we'll go on for a few hours, but the insanity of not having enough doctors, not having enough nurses, not having enough dentists, not having enough pharmacists in the richest country in the history of the world, and having a system designed to make huge profits for the insurance companies and the drug companies, that to me is pretty crazy stuff. So if Trump wants to attack Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because they believe that healthcare is a human right, go for it, Donald Trump. Every time you open your mouth on that issue, you're going to lose more and more support in America.
And while Donald Trump is behaving this way, let me give you this moment of zen right here. Here is President Biden from this past weekend going on a bike ride. Here, play this clip.
Trump says you're angry about being pushed out, are you? Can you just Prime Minister Netanyahu?
Well, it's never a good thing if you're Donald Trump and dentures and Daffy Duck are trending. But look, J.D. Vance has been giving these media appearances where he's been telling people, hey, stop. We need to stop the bullying. Stop the bullying. There shouldn't be any more bullying of Donald Trump and me, he says. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 3 million together.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.